then stay with me, because there was one point that you make, and we're going to start off from the period that the PVR was made available to the parties. Let's go to the first slide, right? Dr. Rashid Tanko, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Good evening, Alfred. Let me say good evening to your cherished viewers.
The Electoral Commission, in a response to you, and I'm sure you've received a copy of this 9-page response, they say that, yes, they admit that they did not make the provisional voters register available to you within a convenient time. But then again, even though they gave it to you late, all the parties, including the NDC, had enough time to scrutinize the register before the exhibition started. What time did you receive this provisional voters register from the EC before the exhibition started?
Alfred, they gave us the provisional register on the 19th of September 2024, barely 24 hours. In fact, it was 1 p.m. And it has to take effect from our national chairman, my boss, Dr. Mane Boama. We issued threat, and we were ready to stop the exhibition exercise from coming on because we thought it was illegal. And then that, because we issued those threats, they had no option than to release the provisional register to us. In fact, 1 p.m. on the 19th of September.
1 p.m. 19th September, and the exercise started on the 20th of September. So
on the 20th.
So that was the next day. So 1 p.m. the day before.
Yes, that is it. So we had to force, and then, in fact, we didn't sleep that night. We had to go through the register because we needed to make sure that these registers get to our constituencies and to our branches the following day before the exhibition started, because we wanted them to track the exhibition at the polling station. So we worked overnight to tease out all this 16 regional data and send it to the regions, and they also have to make sure that it goes to all the 276 constituencies. So it was a big headache they gave us with this kind. I'm not surprised they had to put it this way. They thought we couldn't have gotten the time to study the provisional register. That's why they did that, because they knew what they were doing. They knew that they had manipulated the register and felt that if we give it to them at this last minute, they won't be able to go through all this almost 18 million data that they had dumped to us. So clearly, it was a stress on us. But
I see.
Nonetheless, we want to rescue Ghana. So
there was a second demand that you made in that petition, which they've responded to. The over 243,000 illegal transfers, as you captured in there. They say, majority of it wasn't illegal, and that these transfers were inadvertently done. And they added the 2020, 2021, 2022 transfers were inadvertently added. That's what amounted to the over 243,000 transfers as we saw it. Does that answer the concerns that you had?
Alfred, this their statement, the letter they've written to us, in fact, has vindicated our position all along. I mean, it has vindicated in the eyes of Ghanaians that now they've come to agree and admit that true, the NDC has issues that they needed to address. Unlike our opponent who held press conference and was bastardizing us as if we had nothing to show, we were just making stories all along. The Electoral Commission has come to, I'm holding it here, they've come to admit to everything. Clearly, the Electoral Commission, which told you publicly that when we came and met them on the 6th of September and left, we didn't give them any evidence of which they could work on, and that they were waiting for us to bring evidence. And our opponents also latched on it and were all over the place. Today, they are using our evidence to write to us that, yes, we agree that the 243,000, if we hadn't given them evidence, where were they going to get the 243,000? They didn't identify it. Their IT system couldn't identify it. We were able to identify these 243,000 and made it very clear for them that, look, this transfer, we are not talking that they were illegal transfer. You see, they shouldn't set their own questions and answer it. We are saying that you have added an old data of transfers of 2023, which you did and migrated them to the register. You have brought it back again to this current 2024 register. By so doing, you have doubled the register by these 243,000. That is illegal. It's not supposed to be there. The first time they came to rationalize it, they told us that it was deliberately added for us to track the transfer history. We told them that's not the case. That was their director of electoral service. And we told them that wasn't the case. It cannot be the case. We don't need it. In any case, if you are talking of transfer histories, then go and bring 1992 transfer, 96, 2000 and all that. That is not what we are looking for.
I see.
Then today they have changed it to inadvertently. Have you seen that their statement? They said inadvertently included all transfers.
Yes, that's what's captured there. We have it on the screen.
That is what, so you see what I'm talking about. That's why we say the chicken has come home to roast. So those who were saying that the NDC didn't have evidence and that the electoral commission, they were waiting for us, now they are using our evidence to say that inadvertently added this.
Well, in the midst of all this, they say that their systems are robust, they are trustworthy, but then again, no system is perfect. You know, that's the point they make about the IT system at the commission. Alfred,
in fact, one of the worst IT systems we've ever seen in this country is the Electoral Commission current IT system.
Really?
Very shambolic. Look, let me tell you, that IT system is the root cause of all this problem we are going through. You have an IT system that could not be able to track this, to know that the data I'm presenting up is an overbloated data. It's a data I've captured, a data of 366,000 of transfers. Now I'm having a data reading 500 and something thousand, and you don't know that it has increased. And nobody in the department could track that this system that has generated this number, there's something wrong with that. You have an IT system. Look, they've mentioned about 38 unauthorized transfers. It's lies. That was a teaser we gave them. The Electoral Commission has turned themselves to firefighting and fishing for information. So when we tease them by saying that they did some transfers in Tamale South and Sanargo and sent it to Pusiga, they quickly latched on that and came out with a press statement. And today they repeated the same thing, forgetting that you go to German North, similar incident is happening there. Asutifisa, similar incident, that is Ahafo region. Then you come back to the same northern region, Tolong, similar incident has been uncovered, these illegal transfers. Then you go to Volta region, we have similar incidents. So it cannot be the 38. And so that's why I'm saying they have a shambolic IT system. Somebody sat in there and was able to manipulate their IT department, their system in there, and then started displacing voters. This one we call it voter displacement. Voter displacement is like they have put you from one place to another.
I see.
By using the transfer window. And they were quoting from CI 91. Alfred, I want you to go to that aspect. CI 91 has nothing to do with transfers.
Yes, the CI 91, specifically on voter transfer, they make reference to that. In fact,
yes, it's clearly, if you look at all their documents, they're 19 page. They continuously quoting from CI 91. Why didn't they quote from CI 127?
So that's what you have on the screen. It says,
transfers.
They said the CI 91 recognizes that there are bound to be discrepancies arising out of the registration exercise, which are ultimately reflected in the PVR. As such, regulations 23 and 24 of CI 91 define clear pathways to correct these discrepancies before the final voters register is printed.
Clearly, and I'm saying that they are setting their own question using the CI 91. Why haven't they quoted from CI 127, which has to do with transfers? Our issue with them is about the illegal transfers. It's not about somebody coming, his name is not properly spelled. It's not about somebody who came and they said you are a male, now they put female there. That's not the corrections we are talking about. We are talking of illegal transfers where voters have been displaced from one polling station to another in different constituencies. It has nothing to do with CI 91. So they were cleverly tricking Ghanaians by issuing the CI 91 for you, quoting copiously on it, just to bamboozle Ghanaians that as if they were doing the right thing. But they ran away from CI 127, which has to do with about transfers. So why haven't they talked about it? All this illegal thing they did it from this year. Right. This one, that's what they try to hide from Ghanaians.
And Dr. Tanko, I'm going to end quickly with you on this. There was a final call that you made that this the voters register, after these corrections are made, the PVR should be re-exhibited. The Electoral Commission says they are not opposed to any call for re-exhibition, but then again, it cannot be done physically. There would be an online re-exhibition, sort of the voters register. Does that satisfy you?
Alfred, these people, they don't learn from their mistakes. I don't know why they are behaving that way. Look, we don't do electronic voting in Ghana. We don't also do electronic transmission of results in Ghana. Everything they will do is manual. That is why we do our exhibition manual exhibition. You come there because of our illiteracy rate. Look at our population, and you compare that one to the literacy rate of this country, and you will see that majority, in fact, 3/4 of our populations are illiterate. So you go and do something electronic and expect them to go and check. How many of my relatives in the village can check electronic? I mean, we are just, you see, this thing is a policy direction. We are sending it to FEC as our functional executive committee headed by our national chairman, the General Mosquito. We will discuss it and give them appropriate response. Look, initially, their director of electoral service came out and told us that they were not going to do any exhibition again. They won't do any exhibition. But because they realized that the NDC, we have issues, the massive manipulation of the register caused that there is a need to do another exhibition. Now, instead of them to go out and do the manual exhibition for people to see, they say they want to go electronic. Well, we will give them appropriate response on that. Right. But I'm telling you, Alfred, you and I know that the rural folks, how many of them can check electronic to see their data and respond appropriately?
And as you indicated,
this thing that they are doing, they are not learning from their mistakes, and they are just creating problems for themselves every day, day in, day out.
We'll see how the coming days will look like. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer.